welcome to Lemon Yellow Art Studio. My name is Tia and I'll be your art teacher today. So let's get started. Okay, so here's a bit of a closer look at our project. And before we get started, I'm going to go over some of the art supplies you're going to need today. So first up is this watercolor palette. I love the Yarka brand. Then you'll need a wide brush. It doesn't need to have an angle. Next up is some scissors, a white paint marker. I love the Posca brand. Then you'll need a liquid glue and a glue stick, 2 cotton balls, then 2 birds. I have the template for these and their wings below. Then you'll also need some feathers. I like this pink and yellow one for my birds. Some water-based markers, a brown and 2 other colors for the bird. I love this brand. A little piece of white paper. Then some thin strips of brown paper. You need about 6 or 7 of them. And a jar of water. And the paper that I'm using is a watercolor paper. So you want to make sure to tape it up just to your table. I like using green painter's tape for this. And then what we're going to do is coat the whole paper just in water. So this is going to help our colors blend really, really nicely when we go in and create our sunset. So first up is I'm going to add a bit of water to my purple. And then I'm going to create some lines back and forth at the very top of my paper, just like this, and kind of blending that purple a bit. And I'm happy with the amount of purple there. So I'm going to go in with some pink now. So I added some water to the pink, swirled it all around. And then I'm just going to start where I ended with the purple and go back and forth and create another band of pink just across. And you'll notice I'm kind of going into the purple again. And this is so that those 2 colors will start to blend. Next up is our orange. So I'm just swirling my brush in some orange and then drawing some or painting some lines back and forth below that pink and then working that orange into the pink a bit. And then the last color we're going to use is yellow. So you're just going to swirl your brush in the yellow, make sure you have enough water on your paintbrush, and then go back and forth where the yellow and the orange meet. So we're just blending those colors a bit more seamlessly together. So we want to make sure to leave a bit of white below the yellow so that that's kind of our snow. So now this has to dry. So it'll take about 15 or 20 minutes. You can also put it in front of a fan and it'll take less time. So next up are our birds. So you should go ahead and cut out all of your bird shapes. Make sure to cut out most of the black lines so we don't have those showing. Then you want to figure out how you want your birds to sit on your branches. So I want them to face each other. So I'm going to flip them around so they're like this. You can also flip your birds so they're both facing one direction like this. But I kind of like when they're friends, right? They like each other, so they're going to face each other. And then we're going to start to color them in. So I love these water-based markers. I'll put the link below for the pack that I have. It's this Ohuhu brand, and I'm using a pink and an orange. So these have like a fine tip, which is the side I'm going to use. And all I'm going to do is start coloring in the bit of the bird's tummy. So I'm just going to create some little marks. I'm very short little lines. And I don't want to color it in like too much. I kind of like to have the pink paper peeking through. And then I'm also going to color in the head a little bit, add some polka dots. I'm not going to color too much because we are going to put the wings on, right? So I'm just decorating our wings here with some feather shapes, and they're just little U shapes connected all the way across. And then I'm going to do a very similar thing on the other bird, just with the orange color. So I'm just coloring in the belly a little bit and the head, adding some little marks, and then also drawing some feathers on the wing. Now these feathers are a little different. They're maybe a little bit longer and bigger than the other ones on the pink bird. Next up, you want to take a black marker or a Sharpie, and you're going to create a little circle for the eyes on both birds, and then another little circle inside the big circle, and then you can fill in the space all around with the black. And then I added a little wing for an eyelash. So next up, we want to cut a little triangle from our white paper, just like that. And this is going to be our beak, just like that. Perfect. And so I'm going to draw a little black line right through the middle to kind of show the top of the beak and the bottom beak. And then the same thing on the other one. And then we can glue these onto our birds. So you want to just apply glue kind of to the end of the little triangle, not the whole thing, right? Because we're just gluing. We want it to kind of peek out from the bird. And then we're going to grab our feathers. Ooh, so fun. And we're going to glue these on with some liquid glue. So you just want to put a bunch of liquid glue on that bird and then press down the feather gently. And then we're going to sandwich our feather between our bird and the wing right on top. So add a bit more glue and then put the feather right over top, just like that. And then you're going to do the same thing for the other bird. So our feather is almost like our tail wing. Yeah, there we go. So cute. Perfect. So while we wait for those to dry a bit and our background to dry, we're going to create some of our little cotton balls for our branches. So we're creating a pussy willow branch, which those actually grow in Canada, in Saskatchewan. So that's why I picked them to do. So we're just pulling apart our cotton ball and making some little smaller cotton balls. Perfect. So by now our background must have dried. Yes. Oh, it looks so nice. And what we're going to do now is plan out where we want to put our branches. So you can sort of put them wherever you want on your paper. I would just recommend not putting them straight up and down because branches kind of grow sideways, right? They don't go straight up and down. So think about putting them a little bit at an angle. And then I just cut a longer branch in two because I wanted some smaller branches coming off of the bigger ones. So just like this. And so you can kind of place them how you want. And that's how I want mine. So now we're going to glue them on. So instead of putting the glue on the back of the brown paper, you're just going to draw a line right on that watercolor paper with our glue, and then press that thin strip of brown paper right on top of the glue. And then you can kind of smooth it out all the way across with your finger. And you're going to do that for all of the branches. Just make sure not to put any glue on the tape, right? Or don't glue any branches onto the tape because we're going to take all that off eventually. And this purple glue actually dries clear, so don't worry about being perfect with your lines. Okay, so now we're ready for our birds. So you can decide where you'd like to place them on your paper. And then once you're happy with where you want to put them, we have to apply some glue. So I'm just going to put glue right on the paper with the branches right on top, all over where kind of the general size of the bird. And then I'm going to press the bird right on top of that glue and kind of smooth it out and make sure that it's nice and stuck on there. And then I'm going to do the same thing for the other bird. Remember not to put any glue on the tape because we're going to be pulling that off later. Perfect. So now we're going to take our brown marker and we're going to create some smaller branches, little tiny baby branches coming out from the bigger ones. And these are the ones that our little cotton balls are going to stick to. So you can add as many or as little as you'd like. I mean, I'd add enough on each branch, and then it just fills up the space a bit more. So this little paper is optional. You could use just a piece of parchment paper. And what I'm doing is I'm just squirting out a bit of glue onto the paper so that I can dip my cotton ball right in there. And then it's a little less messy than trying to put little spots of glue. And then I'm just going to put my cotton ball on the tops or the tips of those little branches that I drew, kind of like they're holding up the cotton ball. Exactly. So you can go start to put all of your cotton balls onto your paper. You can add as many as you'd like. You don't have to use all of them that you made. See, I don't use all of mine. There's a couple I didn't like. So, and then the last thing we're going to do is take our white paint marker and create some snow. So all you're going to do is create little dots very lightly with your paint marker and kind of go all over your paper. You could even create some snow on top of your birds and the branches. They don't just have to be in the background where the sky is. Oh, look how lovely that is. It just makes it more magical. And now we're all done. So we get to take the tape off. Yay, that's so exciting. So just carefully peel it. I like to peel it going away from the painting. See how I'm kind of pulling it away, and that will help us not to rip the paper. Oh, and look at those nice clean white borders. It just makes it look so pretty and finished. Oh, and we're all done. Wow. I love this project. I hope you enjoyed it as much as me. I would love to see yours, so please send me a photo, comment below, or send me an email or a message on social media. I'd love to see. Otherwise, I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next project.